Okay, so we're recording now. So hi, this is a recording of a pair programming session that myself and Andrea are about to do. By pair programming, we mean somebody is going to be playing the role of the pilot when we're coding. That's going to be Andrea. He's going to share his screen in a moment. And I'm going to be playing the role of co-pilot, where I confirm things, I ask stupid questions, I ask for clarifications, that sort of thing. And by having our discussion as co-pilot, pilot, we go build a thing, okay? The thing that we're going to build, and this is September 2023, by the way, so what you're looking at might have changed by the time you're watching it, so please go check. But what we're going to do is build a plugin using PyScript, and that plugin is going to be quite simple, and all it's going to do is emit error messages and warnings and things like that to the DOM. At the moment, PyScript emits those to the console, but some of the people who use PyScript aren't perhaps web developers, and so the notion of the developer console is something that is unfamiliar to them. So we want to be able to give them an easy way to get to error messages and stack traces and things like that. I think the last thing I need to do before we dive in is perhaps just introduce ourselves. So I'm Nicholas. I'm a principal engineer on the PyScript team at Anaconda, and this is my colleague Andrea.
Hi. Yes, I'm Andrea, and I'm working full-time on PyScript next. And yeah, I would like to walk you through where we are right now, and hopefully we will manage to achieve our goal.
Yeah, exactly. Just to say also that Andrea has been a fundamental driving force in the incredible work that has gone into this next version of PyScript. The first version, as always with a software project, was a kind of an experiment, and let's see what happens. And we proved a proof of concept. You know how they say, build it, make it work correctly, make it work efficiently. So we made it work, make it work correctly, and make it work efficiently is where Andrea has been an absolute superstar with this. So without further ado, Andrea, do you want to share your screen so you can see the kind of coding environment, and we'll dive into building this plugin.
All right. Hopefully you can see my screen already.
Perfect.
Okay.
So we're looking at Visual Studio Code and a browser with...
And the browser. I also would like to remove this, but it doesn't really matter. So Visual Studio, what are we trying to do? So we're trying to create, as Nicholas mentioned, a plugin that does something different with the error. And almost all interpreters, and PyScript is based on Pyodide interpreter, provide a way to somehow define a custom standard STDR and STDOut, so standard output and standard error. PyScript is already hooked into this machinery provided by Pyodide, and it provides a lot of hooks. And so there is a description of all the things that can be done, and actually from the PyScript documentation, which is because we are still working on PyScript documentation, but basically there are a lot of hooks, and all these hooks are orchestrated in PyScript too. So right now, what we want to do, we want to be sure actually that whenever a script is interpreted, before the code run, we want to be sure that the standard output is what we want and not the default one or the standard error. So
can I just for clarity's sake, because there might be people who don't know what standard out and standard error are.
Okay, so
yeah, I mean, I can explain it or you can explain it. I don't mind.
Yeah. So when in Python you write print 1 and you see 1 in console, basically that's an output.
Yeah.
So and the standard output on the web, on the browser, is the console log. So pretty much every interpreter uses just console log.
The important thing to know about std out and std, these two ways of emitting data from characters, as it were, from the interpreter, is that you can pipe them elsewhere. You can get them to display elsewhere, can't you?
Yeah.
Which is essentially what we're about to figure out how we do. So
exactly.
I'll step back.
Okay. Just for clarification, when there is an error, usually is shown in console as console.error. So these are the two primitives for development. And what we're going to do here is to use one of these hooks right now. And we import the hook from, this is actually going to be, PyScript core. I could use an import map to make this easier, but right now I'm just working locally for simplicity's sake. And so I'm just importing the hooks from the module. The module, once you import the module, like the same thing I'm doing here, but this is shoelace, and then I will soon explain why this script is there. But once the type module is specified and we import PyScript core, the module take care of itself bootstrapping once for the current page. So now we have
on line 15, you've deleted PyScript/core.js. Is the PyScript supposed to be there, or is it correct at the moment?
It's correct at the moment.
It's correct
so
at the moment.
This is just coming from the URL I'm running locally.
Okay, fantastic, great stuff.
Yeah, and now let me double check, because we were here testing stuff. I should see something in console once it bootstraps. Yeah, so basically the module exports currently two things as a JavaScript module. We don't need any of those out of the box. But if we want to create, for instance, PyDad worker, the module export a PyWorker class to create one. And if we want to hook into the PyScript orchestration, we have hooks. And the hooks, in this case, we just use onBeforeRun. Actually, what we want to do is also to probably hook this only once, but for this demo's sake, it doesn't really matter. But we will see eventually later if there are things that are breaking. Every hook on the main thread, we will not see the worker part today, because that's a completely different word and paradigm. So on the main thread, every hook accepts a callback, and this callback at the right time, when it's time to execute something, in this case, whenever this script type Py, whenever this code is going to be executed, right before that, the callback will be invoked, receiving the PyScript wrap. And the PyScript wrap, we will see soon what it is, and the element that is currently executing, which is going to be this
element there. Can I just explain that back to you, just so that I know that I've understood what's going on? So from PyScript core, there are some hooks defined, and a hook is essentially something that will be called that you can hook into, hence the name hook, at certain points in the life cycle of the interpreter. Okay, in this case, we're using PyDide, which is CPython in the browser. And what we're looking at line 17 is you saying, the hook that I want to use is onBeforeRun. So I can hook into that just before we start running a fragment of Python, and I'm going to add to that hook or the callback, basically, which is what you have there. The callback is a function in JavaScript that does something. Yeah, exactly. And PyScript is what? That's the interpreter that's passed in. An element is the actual script tag on line 24 at the moment. That is the thing that contained the code. Have I understood that correctly?
So PyScript here is a wrap. It's our basically enriched utility to deal with all the things. And all
it's a utility object I can use to do cool stuff in the browser. Fantastic. Okay, that's the important thing that I need to know.
And it's documented in here what the wrap expose. It's type, its interpreter. In this case, it will be PyDide. Cross-worker utility, input output, config. If there is a PyConfig on the page, it will be already parsed and it can be read by the wrapper. and it offers run async, run event, all these kind of functionalities that we are not going to use today, except for the
they are there. It's important to know that you've got all of these kind of tools in the toolkit that are attached to that PyScript object that we've passed in. So it's a good way of being able to work with the PyScript platform itself. Like we're looking at here in the console. Yeah, exactly.
I'm logging the PyScript, this wrap and the element.
Yeah.
And now I'm afraid we need to redo this probably, or I need to take this. I'm sorry. Okay. So we are logging the wrap, the PyScript and the element, and we can see this is what the wrap offers as explained by the docs. And here is just the element logged. It's just a script with the content.
And underneath it, we could actually see the output to standard out, which in this case is the console in the browser, which is what we're looking at here. And it helpfully tells us that this is core.js line 1026 that has emitted that for us.
Yes. So we understand that we have this part here available. What we are interested here is to actually grab whatever default we have, just for being sure that we can reuse that default later on. Actually, I did test this before, so this is the only thing I did before this core.
Okay, for those of you in the UK, this is that moment in the Blue Peter TV kids program where they go, and here's one I prepared earlier, thus saving 5 minutes of looking at somebody doing something. So here we have here's one he's prepared earlier. Can you talk us? I'm gonna explain. Yeah.
So we are trapping standard output and standard error from the PyScript.io, which is the way to hook into whatever
standard out. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So in this case, we are overriding this, and the standard output will receive any amount of arguments. It doesn't matter. Here I'm doing some cool thing, like I'm writing custom standard out, and I want it to be bold. And then I just use the whatever
version before in the new version,
the previous version, the default version. Exactly. And I also have a standard error. So just for sanity check, I want to refresh and be sure that whenever print 1, 2, 3 happens, I have this custom standard out in bold. How cool is that? And still the program works. Now, what if we have an error? This is a nope, which is hopefully not defined.
An unknown function. Yeah, it'll complain about that. Function.
So I want to see an error in console, but I also want to be sure that custom str happens. So I'm gonna refresh, and that's what I see. Custom standard error happens. And here I have the classic pyodide error that tells me nope is not defined.
And you get a stack trace to help you figure out what's going on with your code. So these are the error messages that we want to show to the user when something happens.
Mainly this one, the stack trace into pyodide internals, is usually not super useful, but to know that what's going on. And here we also have, the cool part is that here we also have eventually the element reference, which is the script we are running. So we can grab the context to see where is the error and do this kind of stuff, because it's not a file right now, it's just all interpreted runtime on the DOM. So so we have few possibilities here. Now comes the part where I decide to, because it has been mentioned before in other venues, Shoelace. Shoelace is a custom element library, and because we want to create a hook that shows error on the page, either you look at me fighting against the CSS and some DOM node, or we use something ready to go. In this case, what I want to do is actually
an alert from Shoelace.
I wanna be able to do this. I want to show when there is an error that an error happened. And I never done this before. I never used this library, so here
see what happens.
Here comes the fun part.
So we copy the source for the
we could just copy the source, but I'm actually not interested in recreating this demo. What I'm interested in is to create
imperatively.
imperatively.
Yeah. So from our code.
Yeah. Oh, now we talk. So this is some DOM that I need to put somewhere.
Yeah.
I believe. Let's use a body tag, which we don't have yet. And I don't want.
You don't want the button either, because
I don't want the button. I don't care about the button. But I believe I need this wrapper, this component wrapper for alert toast wrapper to be able to show any wrapper. And here I have no idea what we're doing, but because I have an editor where I can work better, I try to just copy and paste.
Yeah, copy that and let's see what they're doing.
And see what happens. Where can I do that? Let me create another script just for.
Yeah, I was going to say put it in a separate script tag so we keep the Python-y things and the shoelacy things. So we don't need a whole bunch of stuff that's here.
So we don't need the.
We need the alert.toast, don't we? Thing that's on around line 38.
This one we need. This one we don't care.
Yeah.
But we do care about what this does. So whenever there is a click, there is a notify. There's a custom toast count. We don't care.
So and then we call the function notify, and that is
function notify is this one. The variant is primary. In this case, we wanna let's.
Okay, so we're creating an SL alert, aren't we? Essentially, that's all we need is a document.create element and insert that in the right place in the DOM.
Yeah, I'm not sure, to be honest, why here is appending to the body instead of appending it to the container. The container looks completely useless, so maybe we
I was going to say
let's drop it. Not container. Escape HTML might be useful. Is it used anywhere? Yeah, okay, it's used anywhere, somewhere.
Okay.
And toast alert.
Yeah, we'll need that because we're getting error messages from Python, and we need to escape that. So
okay, so this is pretty straightforward. I think we can move into our model, so we don't need to pollute the global scope with anything. Actually, I put here at the bottom. So shoelace, and here is our PyScript stuff.
Yeah.
What we want to do? We want to notify the error. How do we notify the error? Well, I'll try to. I'm assuming. Oh no, the standard output is fine. The standard error. We should have an error, I believe. So here we have an error, and the error will have probably a message. And what I want to do is just to show that message.
So notify the message. Yeah.
I don't need this.
Yeah.
Actually, I still want to probably.
Let's just leave it in so we can see what.
This one I don't care.
Yeah.
Notify is fine.
You want ... args. We don't have that anymore.
Right.
You've rebound that to message.
So we can do this. And the variant, I don't know which.
So variant is primary. What we want is danger or something like that. We need to look at the shoelace documentation, don't we?
Danger.
Is that I'm making that up? If you look up at the top, okay. Where are we? SL alert, variant danger. Yeah, that's it. At
neutral,
the bottom.
warning, danger. Okay.
Danger.
Okay.
And we also want a duration as well.
An icon, the icon has to be different, I guess.
Exclamation icon, exclamation octagon. Yeah, that looks good.
Okay. Yeah, I can make it here or there as a default, but it doesn't matter. So I want to try later on to notify also logs. So we have logs.
And the duration, how does the duration work? I guess.
No, it's a timeout, so it automatically disappears, I think.
But do we want it to disappear?
Right now I want it to show up.
Yeah, we'll figure that out later. We'll figure that out later. Yeah.
Yeah, because I think, yeah, you see, you have closable true. Maybe if closable is true, we don't want it to disappear automatically. So
Yeah.
that's valid. And but right now, let's see what happens. So I don't see any obvious error.
Yeah.
And
Let's see what goes. Yeah, hopefully we'll get something popping up in there.
woo.
Woo! Ah, look at that. We have an error message, and it's
done.
So
Okay.
can we have what happens if you put duration equals 0?
I can put infinity or 0 probably, yes.
Yeah, put 0, duration equals 0 or something, and because there's no duration.
I think we will just see this message there. But it wasn't looking great because it's not formatted, or it loses format. Oh, 0. That was 0. It's literally set them out.
What does okay.
Now this should work. I don't like it, but it should work. Yeah, I think pretty much nope, it's not fine. I think this is exactly what we have here, but because this is not a pre-formatted code or content, we see it weirdly, and maybe we can
put it in a pre-code block.
Yeah.
So it looks like yeah, that's it.
Pre-encode, shall we be as explicit as possible? Semantic,
yeah, definitely.
Whatever.
Semantic HTML is the thing to do. Yeah, let's just see what's in here.
Let's see if it works. Well,
that looks better. Yeah,
that's truncated, I think, because there's some styling issue. I don't know. Maybe there is a max width, max height. Maybe there are more.
Maybe the pop-up isn't what we need. Is there another?
There is.
Is there like an alert call out box or something, a div that we can rather than a toast? There's, if you look on the left hand side into components, there's there's probably something like a call out or whatever they call it. Dialogue, no, draw, drop down.
It could be dialogue. But I remember there was one example that I checked one day where it was piling up full screen, and so there will be more content there, but I can't see it here. So it's not a toast. What?
Let me just see. I'm just looking on my screen here. Pop up.
Pop up.
Group tag, text area, tooltip tree. Right, okay.
No, I think alert is the one we want. It's just we need to be sure that we are using the right.
I'm sure it has something called a call out or something like that. Has it not got that?
Without the duration.
No, there is no call out. Okay.
Which maybe class duration. What are we doing here? So
we're trying to stop the we're trying to make the alert wide enough.
Yeah. Previous variant. Maybe there are other attributes that we need to
closable. We don't want it as a toast, basically. We just don't want it as a toast. We just want it to be alert.
Yeah.
We don't want it. We don't want alert toast.
Do we set it anywhere? No.
It should just and
I want it just full screen. I don't know why this is not happening. So I can hack a style, but I don't think that's the way to go. And toast here. Well, toast is there. So there is something that says, okay, this is toast alert. Oh, wait. Here we are imperatively
yeah. So we just need to do alerts.
I don't think I need to do anything here. Let me see. I mean, I'm appending the node.
So alert.open is what you need. Alert.open, not alert.toast. Right, there we go. Sorry, found it in the docs very quickly. Folks, this is why you can see having a co-pilot is good, because
no. But
hey!
I did.
Whoa, what's in the body? So it's in there. Is it visible? Oh, there's nothing in it.
Okay. True. Is it? There is a.
Yeah, try that.
Is it open or opened?
Open.
Open. Oh,
hey,
lovely.
Fantastic. Now that looks better, and it's going to be as wide as the web page as well, isn't it?
Well, the body is not, the document is not really super styled, so I believe this is good enough. If I close the console, it spans as long as it needs, or on the page, or it could be inside a specific container, or it could be we can show a dialogue and put this alert in the dialogue. I don't know. We can do a lot of things, but I'm already quite happy.
The thing is, we've managed to get the core of our functionality figured out, in that we've managed to trap the error message, and use the hooks to redirect the error message to the shoelace component, which is that alert. And that's really all we need. That's all we need to do. So we've made it work. Now we need to make it work properly, which is where turning it into a plugin comes in. Yeah.
Variant primary. Yes, I also want to see how this stack. So I wanna. This is out of curiosity. I want to see 1, 2, 3 somewhere, and the error after. So this should be.
Okay. Yeah, so we've got a kind of a standard alert, and then we've got an error alert in red. Fantastic.
Yeah, here we just redirected somehow the output. We are still showing console. I just want to be sure that. Where was it? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. I don't want that. So if we take over, we might decide to not show in console. I think showing in console is still a good source of truth.
I agree.
A good technique. So, well, when you say we need to make a plugin, this is what I think. We create alert.js just for simplicity.
Yeah.
And alert.js basically will contain
stuff within the script tag that we need. Yeah, exactly.
Is it? Okay. So we grab hooks from PyScript core. The module is always loaded once by the browser, so it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
We have our logic. Here we don't need the element. We have better highlighting and everything else. Now, just for simplicity's sake, I'm gonna make it short and nice. And yeah. Oh, okay. Here the thing. We explicitly decided to use shoelace, but shoelace is not necessarily already on the page. So we probably want to use the module.
Yeah.
And just import it at the very beginning.
Yep.
And what we want to do also as a full standalone module that doesn't create any dependency.
We'll need reference to the CSS as well, surely. Or does Shoelace do that for us already?
Yeah, actually, we can just do this. And here we will do some DOM thing. Let's do it here. So here
it's all in the same Shoelace place, document.head.append child. Yeah, and then put a style tag in there. Yeah.
create element link. We're gonna do something nice and simple. Rel style sheet href. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, this should do it. Okay, so we bootstrap shoelace, we append the link, and this is being a module and a JavaScript ECMAScript module is also going to be executed once. First time it's imported, this happens only once, just to be sure that we don't re-import this all the time. Then we do hooks from PyScript core, and then basically we just do
that's the same. That's the same. All the rest of it, isn't it?
One thing I would like to do, because we are demoing the first example of a plugin, and I don't want to show up something that is not gonna really work well, is to let override true. So we want to actually do this only if override
is true. Yeah.
Actually, let's do this way. Override. Let's overridden. How's it spelled? Now I'm gonna
That's it.
embarrass myself. Okay. Overridden false. So if overridden, just return. Override overridden true. And now we have we are injecting and still propagating down the pipe if other listeners or other plugins are also doing the same dance. Maybe we want to combine all of them. So actually a good practice here would be to indeed do this. We still propagate either before or after. Maybe we want this before the rest. And
you also need to, in the notify call there on line 28.
And then let any other plugin be able to do the same. So we want to, okay, this one, I really don't like it. I don't think it's useful. So actually this part, the console log shown on the page, maybe we don't want it.
Okay, line 28, you've got a reference to message still in there, matey. So you'll need to, line 28, message.
This is gonna be so the error is gonna be surely the error in error. Actually, it's always just an error, so probably it's safe to do just error here. But because explicit usage of console error doesn't strictly say you cannot pass more than an argument, let's assume that the first argument at least is an error, and that's all we care about. And so we have error message here.
Yeah, perfect.
So we grab the first one and we show this. Now, because we only use this, I will say it's fair to assume we just use by default this. And so all we need is notify message. I don't see any other way to clean up. Actually, I could remove these, but if
you don't need them, you could just pass in.
But if it's in the future, I would like to use also warning instead of danger according to what's in the message. I think this is fair enough. A good way to show the alert. And here we show the alert. And okay, what do we need to do now?
So we've moved all our JavaScript out of the
HTML
page where we did the initial thing. We've put it all and cleaned it up and put it all in alert.js. So there's been a bit of refactoring, and now we need to use this alert.js and expose it as a sort of an available plugin in PyScript.
So let's do this. We don't need any of this content anymore, so we can just do these. So we still want to bootstrap PyScript. And now, as an opt-in plugin, what we want to do is to load from a CDN, from our own repository, from whatever we want to load the alert.
Yeah.
So this, the bootstrapping core is still necessary, but this could go at any time.
Yep. So that's basically our plugin is just a JavaScript file.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Pretty much. Now I'm going
so if you refresh the page, it should just work.
Finger crossed. Yeah, it did.
Hey, woohoo! There we go.
There we go. And
well, that was remarkably easy.
Thanks. That was the intent all along the way to PyScript next. I don't. Okay. To be honest, now that I worked on this, probably especially around the standard error, probably the same way we use a set for hooks, so that you can add stuff. Probably would be a better idea somehow to handle this as an array, because if some plugin does something, it forgets to pass along the SD error or stuff like that, it might be problematic. So we probably want to be sure that plugins will not interfere
with the next thing
in a bad way. At the same time, especially for error, once there is an error, and it's nice to show the error, but actually somebody else to say, hey, I just want to throw that error, I wanted the code to stop executing. I just don't want to see the error nicely on the page. And so it can be obtrusive no matter what. But this is probably the only area of improvement I can see, because the rest, it was pretty straightforward and simple. And this is also thanks to Shulei's documentation, which you could quickly check, and I could quickly scroll, copy and paste, and everything was fun.
Yeah. Okay, so it feels to me like we're coming to the end of this little little adventure in plugins. Is there anything else that you can think of that anybody who wants to write a plugin for PyScript might need to know?
Yes. What is important is this. So now I'm using core JS and core CSS from my own environment. Which is fine, but obviously, if you want to develop, you're going to use the CDN, right? When you use the CDN, what you should really do, especially for plugins, so the thing is that we all should be sure that all the plugins, all the things are loading the right module, which is one core, so that you can pollute, you reuse the core, and the only way to do that is to do a URL mapping. So you do this PyScript core, and okay, CSS is less relevant, but also because it's super tiny file. There's almost nothing in here right now. But this is what matters. So that this should be done here, and it should be done in any plugin. So there should be a canonical URL that anyone at any time can map. And this is not just a best practice, is also awesome when you want to be sure that you want to pinpoint your PyScript core version.
The thing that you want,
It's so that every also foreign third-party plugin will also, when loading PyScript core, will use that exact version. How do we do that? Let's do it this way. So we need a script type. This time is import map, which is a JSON, and it has imports field, and it has, okay, I can make it more readable, sorry. As long as it's valid JSON, the indentation really doesn't matter. And now we want to do PyScript core.
Map that to a URL.
Map that to a URL, which is I never remember the perfect CDN to use, but in this case, it doesn't. Just to show that it doesn't matter, I can do this.
Just do it from your local.
So I do my local environment, and I have import map. This one, the sooner the better. So if it's
but line 11 is going to be something like HTTPS blah blah blah, some CDN /PyScript.
Yeah. JS deliver. whatever CDN, or
Whichever CDN you're using for PyScript.
yeah, but this allows the bootstrap on the page to just use this canonical module name, and any plugin should also use this module name.
Yeah.
So now the proof of this working is that I'm now going to refresh. I never written exactly.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
Now this plugin HTML, what's not finding?
PyScript call.
I have no idea what is not finding, because it's working. It's actually
Exclamation octagon.
Oh,
It's not finding the
what?
Yeah, you've not got the icon.
Oh, well, that's not on me. Yeah, is that it?
Yeah, so yeah, you look at the last 404, it can't find the
It was there before, and this is
not.
weird.
Yeah.
So if I remove the exclamation octagon, oh, but I changed this, right?
Yeah.
Let me try this. I just don't want to see. Okay, this error, I don't get it. Not found. What is it? Okay. I know what's going on.
Okay. I'm glad you do.
Yeah. Yes. This is going on. This cannot be, unfortunately, this cannot be a source in this case, and so it's gonna be import. If there's nothing else we need from the module,
right?
The import
You do it that way. That's the syntax. Yeah. Okay.
So now I don't see that error anymore. Okay, that's better. And now I don't want to see icon errors either. There's no icon. What did I do? Let me check. Exclamation. Yeah, this looks correct to me.
Could it be because you're using an import map and you're
but the import map is
the imports, we can put shoelace in there as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Wait, what? I'm saying yeah, but I'm thinking nope.
Yeah.
But we can try that. This shouldn't be, because this comes from a CDN, so I'm not using the import map here.
Of course, yeah. Don't worry. Sorry, yeah.
So, but we can do this. Let's see if it changes anything. Shoelace. But this shouldn't be necessary, because this
we shouldn't have to put this to use the plugin, if you see what I mean.
Yeah. I don't know why it's taking the plugin from
because it's trying to get it from
to look at the plugin from my local assets instead of remotely. This is weird. Yeah, no, this is not the issue, and the issue is
get rid of
that shoelace. There must be I'm sure there is some documentation about this. Is trying to import assets from not from the place it's expected to import assets, and so maybe there is a way to say, hey, shoelace, grab assets from here.
Yeah.
And or maybe this is the reason. I need to put the base. Maybe I should put the base here, but there wasn't issues like this. Let me try something. We
put
had
the style
this,
back in.
Yeah.
Into the HTML.
Okay.
Still not working.
What is going on? Why this is happening? This makes no sense. So if I drop the import map at this point, this should and this works. There's something else that I'm not understand. Oh, sorry. No, this one is fine. This one is fine. I want to try here if there's anything different. If I do just this, it's the same file at the end of the day. So I'm not expecting, let me see, just only JS core. It's trying to load assets locally from my computer, and it has nothing to do literally. I don't know why this is happening, because the only thing I can guess is that this as a module, not in the page directly, doesn't understand the location.
It's working relative from his location rather than. There's going to be something in the shoelace documentation. The important thing is that this is a shoelace kind of thing that isn't anything to do with actually how do you write a plugin. We've got something wrong with our plugin, if you see what I mean. That we need.
Maybe we can do a quick follow-up or a comment. Okay, we found what it was, but it has nothing to do with the import map. I'm sorry, I just realized that now, but it has nothing to do with the import map. So the import map, and now I want to be sure that this is the case, because if it does, then all my suggestion about import map might be reconsidered. So I want to remove this. I want to use the source instead, and hopefully not put myself in trouble. But this should have the same issue, to my understanding of how things work. Alert.js, core.js, okay. It should still work. And it should still have the error. So it has nothing to do with import map. It's confirmed. It's a shoelace thing when we move the file in a module, and probably has to do with the fact that the module might not understand where it's running from, and it's not in the main page or stuff like that.
There's probably a base URL that we need to pass into shoelace to tell it where to find the things it needs to.
Or maybe the base for there must be some like base value. I don't know. I honestly don't know why.
We should go read the docs and figure it out, because I'm sure other people have found the same thing.
I'm gonna stop here. So once again, let me put it back. This part is exactly the most important thing to remember. That if plugins would like to cooperate using import map, using PyScript core, this is the same module name we published in npm. It can point at anything, but as long as they all use the same core functionality, there won't be any issue. If we start having multiple versions of PolyScript, PyScript core, whatever, all of them will try to bootstrap in a way or another some node. Some plugin may work, some plugin might not. So this is important. We should be sure. We should try to be sure that import map is in place, and hopefully, when we publish a module, we just
import the thing.
Write in the documentation, please use import map, because we are using like import, this kind of import. And if there is no import map, this is gonna throw. This is the last thing I want to show, just because that's how it works. Of course, if there's no import map that says what is at PyScript core, that's not a valid.
You're going to get an error, aren't you?
We have instantly an issue there. But with import map, everything is fine. And so
fantastic. Okay.
That's it. I'll stop sharing.
Apart from the shoelace related icon thing, which is nothing to do with how you do a plugin, that's how you do a plugin.
That was 20 minutes
fun. Really enjoyed
20 minutes ago. 20 minutes ago was fine, and then this icon disappeared.
Yeah, I'm sure in about half an hour we'll have figured it out, but people don't really want to watch us trying to figure out how shoelace works. Andrea, I just want to say thank you. That was an awful lot of fun. I learned a huge amount, and I really enjoyed the approach that we took as well, which was to kind of like make it work. You know, you did it in the HTML, make it work properly, where we moved it into the alert.js and then all the other things that just kind of made it work efficiently as well. So we kind of had that 3-step approach to it. So that's great. Awesome. Great stuff. I'll end the call then.
Thanks. Take care.